Wait, hold on.
Fill me up, Chandler. Put it in me.
Tight, yeah.
Wow.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Captain Cook. I'm Jerome.
I'm Nick.
And today we're continuing watching Better Call Saul Season 1. We're watching episodes 5 and 6, I believe. Yep.
It's actually going by fast.
It is. Today I was like, wow, I can't believe like if this was Breaking Bad, we'd be done with Season 1 almost.
Yeah, that's weird.
I was like one episode away from season. It's only 7, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's an odd number.
I actually had trouble writing notes for episode 6 because that episode was just so good. I just kept watching it. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So I had to rewind a little bit and write what just happened. Because it was just that might be my favorite episode we watched so far.
Yeah, mine too.
It's very, very good. I think this podcast will be called The Origin of Mike Ehrmantraut. Who do you think they would have, like, if they were not going to kill his son off and we never saw him, who do you think they should cast, like, if, that would look like Mike, that would be his son?
Oh.
Like, who do you think would fit that?
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that would have been pretty fucking cool. In some world, Mike's son is Ryan Reynolds, and
just a total, like, smart ass and pisses him off all the time.
it's funny because hearing him, he's like, he's a good boy, Nelson. You just imagine, yeah, I'll take the money.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm fine with that. But I did want to mention, too, before we get into it, one, we got a comment on the last podcast. Let me get it so I can read exactly what he says. It's from Billy Jackson, and he says, I agree with you guys that Better Call Saul is probably going to be the end of the Breaking Bad universe. We talked about that last week.
Oh, yeah.
But I really hope that they're cooking up another spinoff, and I hope you put cooking up because the show's Captain Cook. That would make it like a little extra.
Yeah.
But I was thinking because I recently started watching The Shield again on FX on Hulu.
Yes.
Not sponsored, but just to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it might be a little late in the game, so maybe I don't know if they would use him or not. But like a Shield type show, obviously not as shady, but with Hank, would have been real fun.
So like the third perspective.
Yeah, and you can go in any time. You can do it during Breaking Bad because like we didn't get to see all the shit that went down, or you could do it. You could do Mick, but I thought that would be real fun to do. And you can have him and Gomez, or you can even have someone in the office and have them show up every now and then. Like you could have the bad guys in the DEA or whatever, and have him there being or something like that. But I thought that could be a really fun show.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
'Cause you know how hard that would be to incorporate Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Or you can even just have it be, and I don't know if people would care, depending on what actors you got in it. But you could have it set in like after Breaking Bad.
Oh.
And like just what's going on there. Because you can even incorporate like
cool.
them hearing like, oh, Jesse's on the run or shit like that. Like the first 2 episodes or something.
Maybe it's a special agent after Jesse.
Oh, maybe. And I think you
picks up
could
Saul.
do some kind of little cameos here and there, like Badger could show up, stuff like that. But I thought that'd be real fun to have.
God, you're just clinging on to this dream, aren't you?
Well, no, because I agreed with you last year. Because it's probably the end. What else would they do? And then I'm watching The Shield. I see Vic Mackey, and I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool if Hank was doing this.
I don't think I could watch. You like Hank way more than I do.
So you just wouldn't watch the third spinoff show if they made it?
No, I'd watch it.
Of course you would. So shut your fucking trap.
I'd make fun of him the whole time. Be like, look at that. The bad guy was right next to you the whole time.
You over here acting like a little
Biznatch.
So don't make me bend you over and
Fill me up, Chandler. Put it in me.
God. Please don't ever do those two again.
wait, hold on.
No.
hold on.
No. Come on.
Gosh, you're big. You're so big. Fill me up, Chandler. Put it in me.
Tight, yeah.
Wow. And that's the podcast.
All right, let's get into the actual episode. Ooh, it got hot in here pretty quick, huh?
It's because you're giggling like a little girl over there.
Growing like a little giggle. You know what I don't understand?
Probably a lot.
Yeah, actually. Why does every cotton candy energy drinks are kind of like my... I was going to say my kryptonite, but that's not the right word.
Yeah, I don't think Superman drinks
kryptonite. It doesn't hurt me. It makes me feel good.
More kryptonite.
But it's what would that be called?
An energy drink?
But something that like if I see, I'm like, well, I gotta try that one. Like it's like
a weakness.
My weakness. That is kryptonite. I guess the kryptonite's the right word, just wrong. Also.
What?
Anyways, that's not the point. What was the point?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What are we, 10 minutes in already? And you fucking...
8 by my class. Get close. Count, but close. I said close before I could say count.
I gotcha.
Jesus,
this better be a fucking good story.
It's not. So, but why does every cotton candy energy drink taste different? There's like 4 or 5. They got Bang, they got Rockstar, they got the A equals MC squared.
It's the dumbest question.
Whatever all
you've
evens
ever
are
asked.
called. But every single cotton candy one tastes a little different.
I got news for you.
What?
You take any flavor,
Mhm.
and you get them from all those fucking companies, they're all going to taste a
But
little
no,
different.
because if you try,
But yeah.
what was it? Like the lemon lime, whatever it is, Bang tastes just like the, what's the monster one?
I don't know. I didn't know they had a line.
Rain. All like a lot of the
Don't
bangs,
yell at
a
me.
lot of the bangs and the rains taste the same, but then you get from Rockstar and all these other people, and they taste different. I don't understand that.
I don't know.
Since you don't have an answer, I guess
They
we
probably
can,
have different ingredients.
Yeah, okay, this isn't our energy drink podcast.
No.
All right. Well, when we start that, you better have an answer. So Better Call Saul, season 1, episode 5, Alpine Shepherd Boy, written by Bradley Paul and directed by Nicole Cassell.
And you know why it doesn't end in O?
Why?
Because they originally wanted to name it Jell-o, and Jell-o wouldn't let them.
Really?
Yeah.
They couldn't think of something else like
Alpine Shepherd Boy.
rubbery Fudo?
Rubbery Fudo?
I was trying to think like to describe Jell-O.
Oh.
How else would you describe Jell-O? Yummy? Oh?
Yeah, I think it's just Jell-o.
Yeah. Well, they could have. They're creative. They could have. They put fucking maxi pads on Mike's shoulder there. They couldn't figure out another way to say Jell-O?
Nope.
It's disappointing. It starts out where the last episode ended, and Chuck's neighbor called the cops on him. She's peeping through the window, and, she's like, oh, what a little creepy boy. And so then the cops show up. They're yelling at him. One cop goes around back, peeps through, sees he unplugged everything from the fuse box, and has like a bunch of batteries back there or something. Makes him look like a complete psycho.
Which he is.
Yeah, and they go to burst on the door, and he's like, all right, just don't tase me, which is probably should be warning the cops what weapons not to use on you. Just gotta cooperate.
It's like you when you walk in a room. Now don't pull your dick out.
Yeah, I will suck it, so don't pull it out.
Right.
No matter whose dick it is.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, my sister, my uncle.
Your sister.
Yeah, no matter whose dick it is.
Hmm.
Billy Bob Thornton's.
All right, I'm sorry I brought it up.
But then they burst on the door and they tase him. And that's the last we see of that for a little bit.
Yeah, part of me wanted him to get tased.
Me too, and then just he gets overdosed on tasingness and dies.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of him.
Me either. And the annoying part is, because like watching the first time you're watching this, you're like, oh, this is interesting. Is he making this up? Because like the nurse is nearby, girl from Girl Interrupted, and she's like, oh,
She's a doctor.
Oh yeah, I called her a nurse. I wrote
Yeah.
doctor in all my things, but I called her a nurse.
Yeah.
I guess I'm sexist.
Apparently.
But she has like a little beeper or something. He's like, yeah, the beeper battery in your pocket, and she's like, oh yeah, silly me. And like she's like, he knows shit like that. But then you're like, you're a lying piece of shit. I know you are deep down. I've seen season like 4, whatever it is, and you get caught.
He got caught in this episode.
Kinda, yeah. But
There's no kinda. She turned the fucking bed
yeah,
on.
but everybody sticks around with it for like 4 seasons. My point is, it's
Yeah.
until then, and then. But I do like we'll get to her meet there. But my point of bringing all that up was it's interesting the first time you watch the show, but now you're like, I know this motherfucker's gonna be faking this shit out for a couple more seasons.
I really don't think he's faking.
No, yeah, I think he's so crazy. And
Yeah.
Saul brings it up later on too. He's like, oh, you saw the newspaper, then you got sick.
Yeah.
He's so like ill that he believes it. Which like that's what I brought up the first time. I was like,
Do you think Jimmy
Is
did it to him?
that time, yeah. You think like originally, like Slip and Jimmy made it cause original? Because
Do you think
they said it's been going on for 2 years when they get to the end.
Yeah.
So I don't know what would have
probably
happened
not.
2 years ago.
I don't know.
But
Was it his wife leaving him? Was that maybe?
Oh, maybe. I kind of forgot about that. But like I brought this up with the first Captain Cook for Saul, and I was like, even if this is like he doesn't actually have the illness and he's faking it and he's just like mentally ill and believes it, in a way, doesn't that kind of make it real though?
Kinda.
Like if you strongly believed you didn't have a right hand, but everybody else saw it, so you just never used it because you couldn't see it there. I mean, it's like you don't have a right
I
hand.
don't know where you come up with this shit.
I mean, right though, isn't that true?
Yeah, but I'm crazy.
yeah, you're crazy, and everybody else knows it, but to you, it's 100% true. And if you're never using
That's
your right
what makes
hand,
you
then
crazy.
It's like real.
That's what makes you crazy.
I guess so. I guess, yeah. So we get a little couple of Saul meeting people. Saul meets Ricky, and Ricky wants to...
Succeed from the Union?
Yeah, I wrote decide from the United States, and I was really confused on what the actual word was. So, yeah, what you said. And
that was fucking
he
hilarious.
offers Saul $1 million, and Saul's like, and he's like, 500 up front. And he's like, oh, okay. So he goes and opens his little safe. He gets the money out, and Saul's like, what? And it's all the guy's money.
Talk about crazy.
That was pretty funny. I feel like Saul could have kind of played, like he could have used that guy a little bit, like, well, I need real cash until we get to your place.
Yeah.
'Cause like he said, this is gonna take a couple years to like actually happen. And it's gonna be really long, blah blah. So he's like, until I can live in Ricky Land, whatever you wanted to call it.
Yeah, except
cash isn't real.
They're just using this as a stepping stone to get him to be Madlock.
Yeah, which was funny. I didn't even recognize who that was on the TV.
Oh, really?
I just wrote down he's looking at an old TV lawyer and gets the outfit. That's what I wrote down in my notes. And then the next episode they said Matlock, and I was like, that's what it was.
Did you know? I just forgot Mike's real name.
Fuck, I had it too.
Well, anyways, he's in an episode of Matlock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I read that.
This is one battery, by the way.
We'll start talking then, motherfucker.
Yeah, just letting you know. I'm gonna keep checking it to see if it dies because it'll just turn off and not tell us anything. Well, I guess we'll stop hearing. But so next, Saul meets up with Royland J. Cox. What a name!
Oh my god, I didn't realize that was his name.
Yeah, and before he's gonna show Saul his invention. He makes Saul sign an NDA, which I believe he broke when he was telling Kim about that. Right?
Yeah.
It's like I could take him to court. He made a talking toilet, and oh boy, is the toilet sexual.
Gosh, you're big.
You're so big.
Fill me up, Chandler. Put it in me.
When that went off, I thought to myself, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to hear that about 1,000 times.
Yeah, you will. I accidentally just clicked out of my soundboard.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I got it back though. I do like there, so like Saul's like, it's a little sexual.
A little.
And the guy's like, what? And yells, kicks him out of the house and goes, you don't ever come back here again. And like starts screaming at him. So I was like, hey, you're the one that made a sex toilet, pal.
Yeah, it was really funny.
So next and last on Saul's list, he meets an old lady. She's, she has the Alpine Shepered boy.
Yeah.
And he helps her write her will. And this time, because he tells the original guy, what does he say? His, where did I put that? Oh, I forget. I wrote down what his rate was, I thought, but now I don't have it.
He charged her 140.
Yeah, but yeah, to her this time his rate was 140. The other guys was like, he was like 100,000 a day or 200,000 a day, something like that. Or an hour. And the guy's like, screw it, I don't want you on salary. But to this old lady,
I think
he felt bad, and he was like, $140. And she was like, oh, that's it?
I think he was going to charge him $400 an hour.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
I think.
And this time he's like, I can't do that again. It didn't work out well last time, and he probably could have gotten.
Well, yeah, he knew. He thought that guy might be crazy enough to pay for it, and then
and then he felt bad. He's like, no, you can do like 20 for now or whatever.
Yeah.
Rest later.
He kind of accidentally got into this.
Yeah, I like that because so the next Kim's having Saul paint her toes, and he recites all the stuff in the talking toilet, and then breaking the NDA. And she gives Saul the idea to do elder law, and then while they're discussing that, Howard calls Kim and tells her about Chuck. And this is what the whole episode kind of turns into about him.
Mm-hmm.
They rush to Chuck's hospital. Saul goes in there, starts unplugging everything, taking out all the power. They call security on him and all this shit.
Oh, here's my Breaking Bad moment. Just thought of that. Bam.
Oh, okay.
Do you know why?
Why?
Not really. I didn't think of it that way. But that's the same nurse that kicks Jesse out of the hospital when Brock's poisoned.
You mean... Oh, a natural nurse in there?
Yeah, the nurse in the beginning. It says, you can't do this, and then they bring the doctor in.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't recognize her. I read that. I heard that on the podcast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. They get those little characters.
Yeah,
like
that would have been right over my head. I would have never known that.
But so the doc wants Chuck to be committed for 30 days, and we learn he's been like this for 2 years. This part, I didn't write it all down, but they're discussing to Chuck Blessing. They kind of ask him like, "Oh, well, how do you live day to day?" And the gas, and she does like a little trick to kind of make him admit that it's not real.
Yeah, she turns the fucking bed on, and then fucking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they get outside, Saul's like,
"That was
a cruel trick."
Yeah,
and she's like, "It worked, didn't it?" So she goes outside. She talks to Kim and Saul. Kim says they can't commit Chuck unless he's a danger to himself or others. And the doc says, "Yeah, with that much gas, he could burn his house down." And then she turned to the camera and went, "They're like, that'll happen in a couple seasons."
Now, do they didn't know that was going to happen.
I bet they did.
You think so?
They think quite ahead. I bet you they probably said that to be like, maybe that's a possibility of how he ends. I would like to hear their podcast when I did listen to it way back in the day. I don't remember it. Only thing I remember about that is that that's the one they revealed that Chuck's house is in front of Jesse's, and that tree out front was CGI. When they burned his house down and all that, and they said that was like the biggest CGI thing they had to do for any of these shows.
Just the way they write. I mean, I just don't know that they necessarily. It might be an idea that maybe Chuck could do that someday, but I don't think they had any idea.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to listen to that one where he dies again. But
Yeah.
so we'll get there in 12 years.
Yeah.
She also said he could burn down the whole neighborhood and all that. And then Saul tells the nurse to untie Chuck, and he's taking him home. But then before they could leave, Howard shows up and tells her, I made sure, we're not going to sign anything to commit him. And then Saul's like, yeah, of course you're not, because, he's a little cat. What does he call him? Your cash cow or something like that?
Yeah, cash cow.
But Saul gets angry with him, argues with him, and then he says, bye-bye to your cash cow, I'm committing him. Walks away, and Kim kind of chases after him. He's like, yeah, I'm not really going to commit him. I just wanted to make Howard sweat.
I have a totally different perspective on Howard now. Like when he walked up.
Yeah, me too. I've always thought he was a dick these 4 seasons and then became nice to Saul. But then knowing everything else, you're like, oh, he's actually a nice guy. Saul just believes his brother right now and doesn't realize that his brother's an asshole.
Yeah, so like when he was, we all love him here. And then he's like, and you're like, he's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's kind of like sometimes someone will say something to you like in a smart ass way. I would never do this, of course. But the fuck was that?
I'm taking a drink.
But then sometimes people don't know if you're serious or you're joking.
Yeah.
But yeah,
especially like when you do that and like we're playing Call of Duty and you'll say something and you sound like you're being a dick and we don't know, and then we're like, what's your problem? You're like, what do you mean? I'm just joking around.
Yeah, totally. So
like we can't see your face, so you say it in an angry tone, and we're like, "What do you mean?" Then it gets all confusing.
Yeah, kind of.
But you wouldn't do that.
No,
Yeah.
No. Nor would I like joke about something and not mean it. But that's how I kind of take Howard. Is like, at first he's like, "Oh yeah, we all love him here." It's like, "Oh yeah, we all love him here."
Yeah, but now you're
But
like, no,
he
he's
actually
100%
means
serious.
it. Yeah.
Until he goes, "Fuck you, Saul Goodman," or Jimmy McGill. He calls him by
Fuck
his real
you,
name.
Taylor King.
Fuck you too, Daddy King. So where was I? Yeah, he said he would make Chuck sweat. Saul sees the paper on Chuck's floor after he takes him home, and he goes, "Oh, so you saw this? You want to talk about this? You saw this and you got sick?" And Chuck's like, "What? What do you mean? No, I'm ill.
I'm too tired. I want to talk about this right now."
Yeah. So then they argue about the Slippin' Jimmy. He's like, "This isn't the return of Slippin' Jimmy." That was originally the title list, but then we got the Mike one. Because the last one was the end of Slippin' Jimmy.
Yeah.
But then they do that, and I like how like they have all that, and he talks about how like that's what made him sick. Before that, Saul offers to make coffee, and then he takes off his blanket that he had and just gets up to go make coffee, and he seems pretty fine.
Yeah.
After the whole argument and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and it went because Saul like talks him down a little bit and says how real this is going, and I was just advertising, and now I got people, and I'm good. I'm doing elder law, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
We'll see. And like he seems like he's on the fence, but better than what he was before.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden he's better.
Yep.
Fucking piece of shit.
What do you think Walt would do if he met Saul's brother?
He would find out. He would have burnt his house down season 1.
But like,
He would have found a way to do it, and he would have tried. This guy's fucking an idiot, right? Like he's not. This isn't really happening. It's like when he tries to talk Jesse out of being friends with people or like hanging out with Jane and stuff like that. That's like kind of actually bad for him. She's making him do heroin and stuff.
yeah.
Jesse doesn't see that.
Once again, Walt's just looking out for Jesse.
And what did Walt do to Jane?
Nothing.
Yeah, this motherfucker doesn't believe that Walter White killed Jane. I don't understand it.
She killed herself.
And your own dumb mother's on your side, too. Your dumb piece of shit mother doesn't believe that Walt killed Jane.
That's your dumb piece of shit grandmother.
Yeah, I know. It's embarrassing on the family.
Embarrassing on the family.
So as I told you from before, Saul is watching an old lawyer on TV.
Wow.
And
some might call him Matlock.
Some might, not me. And he's drawing up a new suit for himself, cut to a montage of old people eating jell-o. That apparently is the original name of the episode.
Yeah.
And at the bottom of their jell-o is an ad for Need a Will? Call McGill.
What do you think that cost him?
I bet not that much. It's just like printing stuff on jell-o, right? I bet a couple $100.
Like, how do you do that?
You just get that made. I bet you can just...
At the Jell-O company?
No, it's like you order that online, special company.
Oh.
Should I Google real quick?
No.
I'm just gonna Google
No.
custom gelatin cups.
We have one battery.
Custom Jell-o cups. Let's just see if I can find it. Well, you can discount mugs. You can get them for $1, but I doubt Saul was Googling that back in the day.
He could have been. You don't know that.
Oh yeah. So did I skip a part? No, I didn't. They're eating, Nita Will, Call McGill. Then he even gives, on his way out of that place, he gives Mike his card.
Yep.
And then we get a little time lapse of Mike working the booth, and he goes to his cafe. He goes and stares at his daughter-in-law for a little bit. It's a little creepy, I gotta be honest. And then he goes home and watches TV, and the cops show up, and they go, "You're a long ways away from home," which we learned that is Philadelphia.
Yeah.
What's that, the little lawyer, the younger guy in? He's an actor from stuff.
You mean the detective?
Yeah, I called him a lawyer.
Yeah.
The cop. Yeah, the one they spilled the coffee on. What's he in?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
You're the one with the fucking computer.
I do the writing. You're supposed to do the research and listen to the podcast and stuff.
I didn't like him, so I didn't look to see what he's in.
Should I? I'm gonna look him up real quick just to see. He's in a lot of stuff. He's in American Gods. That's probably what I know him from the best.
Oh, which I've never seen, so.
He's in Call of Duty Modern Warfare as additional voices.
Well, there you go.
He's in Shameless for an episode. He's in a lot of Call of Duty.
So, shit you've
he's
seen.
in Titanfall. He's in Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2.
I think I remember him in Titanfall. Is he exactly a person?
He's a militia captain. He's in NCIS Los Angeles for a 2-parter.
Is he a terrorist?
I believe so, looking by the name. He's in Call of Duty Black Ops. Seems like every fucking Call of Duty, okay, but I only recognize him from American Gods. Better Call Saul, Season 1, Episode 6, 5-0, written by Gordon Smith and directed by Adam Bernstein.
Originally supposed to be Episode 5.
Oh, really?
And then they decided that at the end of Episode 4...
The teasing, or 5... You mean 5?
Just let me fucking finish. At the end of Episode 4, they were like, how did Jimmy get here if he promised not to be Slippin' Jimmy anymore? So that's how they came up. So they postponed it to Episode 6.
Gotcha. They got a little ahead of themselves in their writing.
Yet you think they foreshadowed a death in Season 4.
My bad. I gave them more credit. Didn't realize they were dum-dums. Opens up with Mike getting off a train, arriving to Albuquerque, meeting his daughter-in-law, and then he goes into the girls' bathroom. He's like, janitor? Anybody here? And he goes in there and buys some maxi pads to cover up his bullet wound. I thought that those are like the little details that these shows do very, very well.
That's cool. Just getting off a train. Who fucking takes a train to Albuquerque?
Mike?
Yeah.
You just saw
That's
the
only guy.
So Mike's daughter-in-law mentioned they're at her house now.
Not a big fan of her.
Me either, to be honest. She mentions that a few weeks before Maddie died, he was different. He was a little moody, barely ate. He was yelling at her and all this shit. And then she also says there was a phone call at 2:30 in the morning, and she thinks that it was Mike on the phone.
And he says it's not him.
He goes, no, I don't remember any late-night phone calls with my son.
Heart to hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, really, really did enjoy this episode. A lot of it is a flashback. There's only like maybe 5 minutes total in the present day. Well, I guess that's not true because he goes back to his granddaughter, but majority of it's...
I think I read that Saul's only in it for 8 minutes, and it's called Better Call Saul.
I mean, that's all of the last couple seasons have been Better Call Mike, pretty much.
Almost, yeah.
And I really, really enjoy that.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite one so far too. I mean, I've enjoyed all of them, and I like everything that Saul does.
Yeah.
But this finding out about Mike and
See, that's what these shows almost do best. They have good main characters, but their side characters are like very, very good.
Yeah.
Almost better than the main characters sometimes.
Don't you think he's a main character though?
Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but the show is called Better Call Saul. And so majority, like the first couple episodes, he's just sitting in a booth.
Better Call Mike doesn't sound good.
No, it'd be like Miking around.
Hey, could you beat Mike?
Yeah. So Mike gets into a taxi to a vet's office to stitch up his wound. The vet offers him some work, but he says, I'm not interested in that kind of work.
So this is the first time we meet the vet.
Yeah, isn't it a different actor?
No, it's the same guy, I think.
Same guy?
But I think his hair was different or something.
Oh, he didn't look the
because
same.
it was like a flashback.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm pretty sure, not positive.
But then we cut to present day. The cops are interrogating Mike. He wants a lawyer and hands them Saul's card.
I like that. He just every time they say something, lawyer. Well, because he knows that they're gonna interrogate him.
Yeah, so he's just waiting. And
Yeah.
I like later on, too, after they get done with all this, that Saul's like, how'd you know I'd spill the coffee and all that.
Yeah. He just laughed at him.
So Mike informs Saul. Saul gets there, and he's like, all right, here's what's going to go down. They're going to sit here. We're going to have a conversation. They're going to take some notes. And when they're done, you're going to spill that coffee on the young guy's notepad, and he puts it in his pocket. And Saul's like, no, I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
No. But then when Saul hears the story of his son and all this shit.
It was a cool way to get us to learn the story.
Yeah, it was very, very neat. That's another thing that these shows do very well.
Yeah.
So he decides to spill a coffee after all that. Mike also steals the notepad. And this is when they're in the car here. Mike also, what was up with the Marx Brothers routine?
Oh, yeah.
It's 2 episodes this season they mentioned the Marx Brothers, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention last episode when they're in the nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same nursing home that Hector ends up in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he potentially, if Saul stuck around in that for a bit, he would have bumped into Tuco there.
Yeah. Well, no, because it's after he doesn't go there till after Tuco dies.
He's not there. Doesn't Tuco visit? Oh no, Tuco's in jail when he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's there and he doesn't go there. He's there before Tuco dies because Lalo's talking to him there and all that shit, and even Nacho sees him there. So Tuco's in jail.
That's
and all
true. In Breaking
so,
Bad,
so Tuco probably picks him up from there and goes to Mexico at some point.
He must be there twice.
That we just haven't seen.
He must be there twice. Because he doesn't really go there till after the twins.
Yeah, he goes there because of his accident. And he's in the wheelchair and all because of Nacho.
Yeah, which I kind of forgot. Unless it's... Yeah, but you're right.
Maybe next season we'll see Nacho or Tuco pick him up there or something.
It's possible.
So Mike looks through the cop's notepad and calls his daughter-in-law, goes to her, he's like, Did you call? We need to talk. Goes to her house and asks her why she called the cops. She said she found $5,000 or $6,000. I'd be like, well, which one is it, pal? Did you keep $1,000 on the side or did you give it all back to the cops or something? How much was it? And then Mike admits it was him on the phone with Matt, and he yells at her and goes, Matt, he wasn't dirty. My son's not dirty. And storms out of her house. And she's like, okay, fuck. I just said he might be a little dirty. I found $5,000 or $6,000 in the house.
He's dirty.
And Mike's like, how much was it? And then he starts yelling at her again.
It's like a fucking loop.
And then he just beats the shit out of her.
Did it remind you when he fucking goes off on his granddaughter?
It did a little bit when he was like, don't bring him up. And then she's like, okay, Grandpa, fuck.
Hey, Grandpa, take your pill.
Yeah. Why don't you go jerk off in the shed back there? I'll go inside and play with my dolls. Fucking loosen up, Grandpa.
This isn't you.
So flashback, Mike breaks into a cop car with a shoestring. I really like that. It kind of reminded me when we had to break into your car at Walgreens. What was in there? Was it your keys in the car? I guess, yeah. 'Cause if you had your keys, you wouldn't have to break in.
Correct.
But when we were doing that, and then like something happened outside, so cops are outside and fire trucks and all shit, literally right behind your car. And meanwhile, me and my friend are trying to like jimmy your car up, and we eventually got it.
You did get it. I was impressed because I couldn't go out there.
If I would have seen Better Call Saul already, I would have known you get a little shoestring. Because we did something like that, except we had like a hanger and we had to like grab it and get it open.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of that, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. I wonder if that would really work. I mean, it seems like it would work, but I feel like you'd have to have the right kind of car that I could fit through.
That was an old car.
Mm-hmm.
That helps.
But so in the bar, he sees the cops. What did I say? Oh yeah, so he sees them, then he goes and talks to the cops. And he goes, I know what you did. Which the younger one there is from Prison Break.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he gets killed in Prison Break by the guy that makes the guy that's like his connecting to CBS and Entourage for Johnny Bananas.
Yeah.
That guy, I believe it's him, kills that cop. So I've seen that guy die twice.
Wow.
I also think he got kicked off the show because I think there's some real life shit going on with him. He was getting arrested and stuff. I don't remember the exact crime, but I remember seeing that later and I was like, oh, that's probably why he got killed. Because he's one of the guys that like late in the game, he like comes to prison last minute and then escapes with them.
Oh, really?
And he's like a little shit too. He's kind of, it reminds me a lot of Jesse in Breaking Bad. Or in Prison Break. He reminds me a lot of him though in the show.
And you didn't like him?
Well, he was like a wannabe Jesse and he was annoying. And they just tagging along with.
Because you just described him. You just described him as you didn't like him, and you go, he's a lot like Jesse in that.
Well, he like the way he talked and shit like that. And like to me, and I might have liked him before. I don't know, because it just reminded me of him. Even though this show was probably before Breaking Bad, I don't know when Prison Break came out. But it just reminded me of him wanting to be like that, and he was kind of like a little bitch.
I got you. I don't like him in this. you could tell he didn't want to do any of this. He's just going along with his partner.
Yeah. So he does that. He tells him he knows what they did. So it's closing time. Mike, you gotta leave the bar.
God, you
That's
can't sing worth a shit.
That's what the guy started singing.
Yeah, what did the guy tell him about New Mexico?
He said there's a lot of mice there? Rats? Scorpions? What did he say? Maybe I wrote that down. Let me see. He says he's going to Albuquerque, New Mexico. No, I didn't write down. What did the guy say?
There's a lot of mice there?
What he say?
Mice?
I don't know. He said something like that, right?
He said tarantulas.
Okay, mice, scorpions, tarantulas. That's pretty... Oh, and the little bike boy. He goes, you gotta watch out for Meth Damon. I get it now.
I just saw your mind work. It was fucking scary.
You know, every time my mic falls over like this and I catch it, I always feel like I'm in like a... like I'm on stage singing to people, and I'm like, whoa! And get back and start singing again.
What are you, James Brown?
Does it look like that?
No. It looks like you're grabbing a cock. Stop.
So Mike is walking home, and the cops pull up to him. They offer him a ride. He refuses. They force him into the back of the cop car, and they take his gun out of his jacket. And he goes, "Hey, what are you doing? That's mine." And then they confront him in the car. He's like, "You were talking a lot of shit back there. What do you mean you know what we did? You got something you want to get off your chest?"
I didn't remember that he actually said you killed him.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, yeah, you killed him." And he says, "You killed him for nothing. You were afraid what he might do. You staged it, put him in a crack house, and made it look like a junkie with a gun." And then they pull up to a random lot to get Mike out of the car. But as they get out, you realize, oh, Mike's not actually drunk. He's been faking this whole time. Which they said he was actually drinking a bunch too. Even the bartender thought he was drunk.
Yeah.
So I think
he can hold his liquor.
I
too.
liked all that, and probably because he's been drinking forever since his son died, so he's gotten used to it.
Yeah, probably before. That.
But so we get to see why he broke into the car before. He planted a gun in the seat, and so they get him out. They put him against the like, hey, stay here for a minute. We're gonna figure this out. They go start to talk. Mike pulls his gun on them,
and then he tries to shoot him with Mike's gun.
Yeah, and it was empty. So he staged the entire night.
You know what I thought about? So Mike's smart. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Smartest guy probably in the I think he's smarter than Walt. Walt was just,
let me
dumb
finish,
and got him.
motherfucker.
Sorry.
Mike's
sorry,
smart.
I gave my 2 cents on what you were...
Nacho smart, correct?
Yeah.
Not Mike's level, but like...
Close.
Gus is smart.
Mm-hmm.
Walter fucked it all up.
No, yeah, that's what I said. That's what... Because we did shows on this before.
I know,
on
but
season,
that's what I
on
think
season
of.
5, and I was like, it's so funny that this whole show, we're watching everything get built, and everything this show is about, everything this show is setting up, Walt and Jesse together fuck up the entire thing.
For nothing.
Well, he went to Alaska.
Jesse went to Alaska. He's not happy.
Yeah. No, but that's what I was thinking. I thought that in the middle of us watching Lalo escape from the cops and all this shit, and I'm like, it's so funny that literally everything this entire show is leading to is just to get fucked in the ass by Walter White.
And for some reason, it makes me just like Walt a little bit more.
I fucking hate Walt. I mean, I love him, but I also hate him.
Because he just gets in there and he's like, "Wow, look at these assholes. I'm smarter than them." But he's not.
No, yeah, he just has a connection. He's so lucky because he has a little lackey Jesse, but he also can hear shit from the DEA, and he's got just so much dumb luck, and he looks so innocent that when he's doing illegal shit, he can kind of get away with it more.
And he'll do anything to get out of something.
Yeah,
like he'll poison a kid.
Yeah, and like Mike and Gus probably wouldn't, or at least
Gus would.
They would. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they would be hesitant to slightly.
Remember when Gus Kills Victor?
Yeah.
What did Victor do again? I don't remember.
He was looking at Walt funny.
Come on.
So they have a gunfight, and then which that was pretty good. He shoots the empty gun, pop. We see Mike get shot from.
It was really cool.
The original from the start of the episode, and then Mike tells his daughter-in-law, where the money came from, how everybody there's a little dirty, and then what happened. He explains what happened to make Matt basically die, like. That phone call, he called him and was like, these guys are dirty, I want to go tell on them, and he was like, don't, and then
because they'll kill you.
Yeah, and then he broke his son's heart that he's dirty also. He's also dirty, and he also said that the one thing that scares cops the most is prison.
And Prison Break. They hate that show.
Oh, fucking dicks. It's a really good show.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's a really good scene. I actually just watched a lot of it and just wrote down those little things.
I liked
was
it
just
when she goes, well, then who killed them?
He goes, you know. Come on.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
And then he's like, I want to be part of your life, and all that stuff. And I was thinking to myself, what if she just was like, fuck you, you got him killed?
He's like, hey, we gotta fill up some episodes in a couple seasons.
That's true.
I gotta yell at my granddaughter. What's her name? Lacey? Stacy? Macy? Casey? Is it Casey?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna Google. I think it is Casey.
I think one of the names you just said is the wife's name or the daughter-in-law's name.
Maybe. Let me see. Mike Ehrmantraut's Kaylee Ehrmantraut. I was so close. Just a few letters off.
Walt fucked her up, too. She could have got a lot of money.
I thought you were going to say something completely different.
No. Jesus. What's wrong with you?
I was like, what did you watch in Breaking Bad? I know you said he'd kill kids, but Jesus.
Fill me up, Chandler. Put it in me.
Time to wrap this up.
No, can we hear that one more time?
Fill me up, Chandler.
I was kidding.
Put it in, Gus, you're big.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Next week, if my math is correct on the dates, we'll be doing this from Hess's house.
Whose house?
Hess's house.